Guys, what's going on? It's calsoscoped back with another video, and today's video is just going to be a pretty much overview slash a breakdown, if you want to say, of this Photoshop manipulation I got done of Zach Lavine and Derrick Rose, right? I think it was an iconic piece that I made. It was actually just an early morning live stream very recently. It is my last post that you'll see up on Instagram as of this date when you see this released on YouTube. But yeah, man, I never really did a full, just super lengthy but kind of fast speed manipulation, right? Because this process takes me usually around 5 hours to complete manipulations, and in total I'd say this took me around 5 hours because I did about 3 hours on stream, then I did about two off stream. So yeah, around 5 hours this process took me. And so yeah, I'm just gonna go through my mindset during this piece and what type of things I look out for, I'm very aware of and have become aware of, and just talk to you guys because my life moves so fast. So I feel like it's just cool to take some time out of my day or just my night and, you know, finally just sit down and just look over some of my work. I just don't even get the chance to do that very often, so it'll be cool and also insightful, hopefully, for you guys. So you guys see the first thing that I did on my design was get the two masks. The first one was Derrick Rose, and now you see the second one is Zach Lavine. And the problem with this, not the problem, but the challenge with this manipulation was mainly the jersey swap, because I couldn't find photos of Zach Lavine of him in a white jersey, like up to date, that were kind of just easy enough to use for the position of the camera and all those types of things. Because when you're doing a manipulation, some things that are very important: number one is camera view, 2, you need to have HD photos, 3, the perspective needs to be on point. You can have a cool camera view for your shot or whatever, but if you're putting in photos that aren't in the right perspective, everything's just going to be off and it's just going to look a little bit weird to the viewer. Now, the normal viewer is not going to be able to notice, like, oh, like this actually looks wrong and I know exactly why, but they're just going to know from the picture, like, and be a little bit offset. So the thing about this photo was, yeah, I couldn't find many angles and perspectives that I wanted to use, so I actually had to just put this Zach Lavine in there into Photoshop, cut it out, and then I had to actually rotate or flip it. So I had to flip the actual photo in the mask, so I had to do that. And then because I had to do that, we had to change first his arm sleeve, then we had to do a jersey swap, change the color of the jersey, and then we had to like put the ball into his hand, which I realized later that I didn't even have to do that because it was going to get cut off in the image, but it's whatever. So you guys see on screen right now is me just going in and getting all the necessary assets that I need to do the jersey swap. So the first thing I always like to do is just make the jersey plain desaturated. In this case, it was the white desaturation because it was a white jersey, so I just used the gradient map on top. And then I just got the other assets from a HD photo of Zach Lavine, and we're just using our liquefy tool, going in the liquefy window to get the other parts done of the jersey. And one thing you want to make sure when you're on the liquefy tool is when you're doing a jersey swap, you gotta just be careful and conscious of the folds, because the better you get the folds right, the better the jersey swap's going to come out. And this is why I also always stress displacement maps. Now in this piece I actually didn't use displacement maps because just through a lot of time and practice, I've become a lot more comfortable not using displacement maps, but they always are a great aid. And displacement maps basically help you with folds, help you with like wrinkles, and it's just going to be an easier way for the computer to automatically read that, so you won't have to do as much manual work. So now you guys see me like going into Gigapixel. I love Gigapixel. It's my best friend. ever. People ask me how I get the watermark off and then like get the picture on there so easily. Literally what I do, guys, is I use gigapixel just for the resizing of the no watermark photo. Then I use the watermark photo from like if I get it from Getty or anything like that, and I put a negative layer mask on and only paint on the parts of the watermark that I need to get off. So that's pretty much how I do it. It's not any rocket science or anything like that, but you guys see I got the bulls on there and I just used selective color on the white tab of it, and I literally just was able to get the text on there easily. And then right here you see I told you guys I had to literally make his arm a different color, so because it's like it was flipped, so I had to make it a white arm sleeve on the left hand, because on Zach Lavine's left arm he has the arm sleeve. So the other arm that you see that still has the black sleeve, that's gonna have to be a completely different arm. But the way that I did his sleeve is I just used surface blur on the arm that was not covered with the arm sleeve. Surface blur is really great for if you want to do like compression or anything like that. Just use surface blur, then I use the gradient map on top to make that white look of a sleeve. And then I also just added just a like dense white line with a little bit of drop shadow to add a little bit of texture onto Zach Lavine's arm sleeve. And then you guys are seeing me just go in and use gradient maps all over the jersey, just so I can just do an easier way of doing a jersey swap. I didn't want to put assets on for each part of him. I just wanted to go in with the gradient map and use those as much as possible. And yeah, these leg sleeves were really giving me trouble. They were giving me a lot of trouble throughout the live stream, but I just found a way. I just tried to use a mix of gradient maps, and then also I was just mixing in channel mixer as well. Those were tough. And you guys see I just used some of those assets there. I think I actually ended up not using these, if I want to say correctly. I didn't use those sleeves for the shorts, I don't think, but I just kept them there for a little bit. And then also warping this Bulls logo on the shorts was a little bit tough. I had to go into Liquify like 3 or 4 times, honestly, and it was just a pain just getting the right angle and then getting the right shadowing and color. But you know, that's just what happens in designing. Things come up and you just gotta deal with it, honestly, and just get through it. Just enjoy the process. I tried my best to enjoy the process, especially on streams. I just play some lo-fi beats. You guys know, jam out with you guys or whatever. Even if it's early morning, I just try to get in my zone. Whenever you design, just try to get in your zone. It'll be way easier. So this is just all like unnecessary work that I didn't even use. Cause see, now I'm adding in the gradient maps and I just painted on the colors. Like, there's so many things I just don't realize until after that I should have just done in the first place. But you know, whatever. You live, you learn. It was actually my first time kind of using gradient maps like a lot for all the assets, because I'm like, wait, if it's desaturated, then I can just manipulate the colors super easy. So why haven't I been doing this for a while? But I guess that's something I picked up now, and I'll just know for the future. So it's pretty good that I know that for the future now. Pretty dope. I think it's cool. Yeah, also you guys saw it was super quick, but I got rid of like all the logos on this edit, because I think in the future definitely I want to start like making posters and things like that. And then sheesh, I have a bunch of stuff just backed up that I could use posters on and things like that. So just moving out logos and stuff is just kind of just planning ahead, planning for the future. Always got to think ahead, right? Then I'm just literally taking off Zach Lavine's arm and just replacing it with something, you know, normal things that you just see in everyday life. Just getting the position of Zach Lavine where he's gonna be dunking on D Rose. I'm like sitting there just contemplating life, like how many hours is this gonna take? But yeah, getting this arm on there, I used the puppet warp to my advantage. And selective color, guys, I'm telling you, make selective color your best friend, okay? Make selective color in Photoshop your best friend. It's going to help you out so much. It doesn't matter if you're a sports designer, a flower garden designer, a Minecraft designer, Selective Color is great. All right, it is a cheat code for changing and matching colors. And also the method that I uploaded a while back, I might do a new tutorial on that, just to match colors to a subject or a scene. Then for the arms, it was a little it was so weird. Oh my gosh, like it was weird just trying to get the foreshortening and all that stuff right. But I did my best to try and figure all that stuff out. And I think I did a pretty good job overall. You see, I'm just going ham with like the curves and selective colors just to try and match the hand as best as possible. Like I said, it just ended up that I didn't even need to even do the hand, but I digress. It was good practice, I guess, if we just think about it. Oh, and also this short thing, like I said, guys, oh my goodness, those shorts were just killing me. I just kept going back to the shorts and the Bulls logo on the side. I was just like, this is the wrong red. No, this is the right red. No, this is the wrong red. Is it too saturated? Is it too unsaturated? Oh, now it's too saturated. Oh, do I need to drop the levels? Curves? No. Okay, it was a train wreck. Okay, but I ended up figuring it out, and I think it all came together super nice for the shorts and the jerseys red, and they all look very, very similar. This was a pretty seamless jersey swap, probably one of my best yet, especially considering all the challenges. Another challenge was the socks. You guys might see how weird they truly look. They look super inverted, and that is because they are, because the gradient map did not like them at all. So I had to just bite the bullet, and I was like, all right, well, I've tried doing these socks for this amount long of time, so I'm just gonna wait and put socks on at the very, 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 very end of the design. So that's what I waited to do, and now I'm just trying to match everything to the scene. At first this was really weird. I think that the Derrick Rose photo had a lot of blue going on in it, not too much yellow, but blue and yellow contrast. So I was like getting stuck between whether to make Zaclamine like his base more yellow or blue, and it was just like, what am I doing? So then I just started to use like levels and curves, and I think this really helped me and excelled me like to go further and just not like, I don't know, settle, because I guess I would say that now I'm a lot more comfortable with like just colors in general. So just noticing color and noticing what colors are in a scene, where I should put certain things, it comes a lot easier than obviously before. It comes a lot easier to do things like this now, like manipulation and stuff like that. It's nothing that I'm like, I cannot complete this. They're all things I can definitely complete. It's just a matter of time, effort, and scheduling. And right now my scheduling is just kind of crazy. I've been doing a lot more of drawing than I've been doing of Photoshop designing. But that being said, even though I've been doing a lot more drawing than Photoshop designing, I feel like my skills in Photoshop are gaining rapidly just because of the skills I'm learning from drawing and painting and things of that nature. And I'm understanding the body more, I'm understanding colors more, I'm understanding just all the aspects of art, man. It's just all really coming together, and it's just, I don't know, what do I say? It's just a beautiful process. Learning art is just a beautiful process. It's really just kind of amazing to think you can just make things from scratch and get good enough to a point where you're like, wow, I just made this from scratch and it looks awesome, it looks sick, it looks super neat. And that's just really the fun of it, I guess you would say. I feel like I never have found my exact point of why I do art, but I just think it's fun, I guess. 2 years, going on to my third year now in doing art. Like I always liked art, but nothing really ever called me until my sophomore year of college, but now it's just like art is literally a part of me. I can't go a day without doing art or looking at art or studying a little bit of art. It's like it's invested inside of me. Let's continue. I digress. You guys see, we added like a lot of topaz labs, a lot of levels, a lot of curves adjustments. I will try to do a breakdown like video or tutorial of this at some point, but it is just so tough to say in a short amount of words. Yeah, I use curves at this, I use levels at this amount or this degree, because you guys ask me a lot of time, but it just varies between the piece. It really does. But that's why in the future as well, I want to start teaching Photoshop and colors and everything in the future. I want to start teaching more, so doing courses and things of that nature. But you know, as time goes on, we'll have to see. It would be close to impossible for me to upload so many tutorials right now just because of what I am dealing with, but you know, that's just how it is right now with school and work and tournaments. Like, just so much going on in life. I know you guys can probably relate, but eventually, yes, we will do this. So the background was a really time consuming thing, and the problem with it was that this background was actually from the Derrick Rose picture, right? But it was from the Derrick Rose picture when they were facing the Atlanta Hawks. So I did my best calsoscoped job of creating a new background from this scene, and not a new background per se, but like manipulations is so much time spent into getting the background right, because if the background's not right and you have like other players still in there and other just pieces of bodies just in there, it's just not going to look good. So the background honestly took probably a third of the time, I want to say, because I think I recorded most of it, but it's just like, geez, it still took so long, and I had to fix a bunch of the stuff. You got to just see it on screen. Like, you just got to come up with different ways to do this quicker, so it just doesn't take days among days. Also had to remove the Derrick Rose fingerprint that was on his body. Didn't even like occur to me that he had that at first, and I was like, oh well, he has fingerprints on his body. That's a little weird. So we had to get rid of that. Then I'm just out here replacing different parts of the court and the arena. It's like, it's not anything that's too hard to do when you're replacing parts of the arena. You kind of just have to know your perspective, and you can bend perspective a little bit because it's not going to be in focus. Something that you guys are going to learn as a designer is, all right, well, let's think about it. Are they going to see this or are they not? Right? That's what you have to think about. Will they even notice this? You're going to be asking yourself that plenty of times. So some of the things that people might not notice, you don't necessarily have to put too much effort into it, unless you want to do like a post or something. Like if you're just posting on social media, you don't have to go stupid hard with some things. You can just like do them kind of in a chic finesse way, but you want to know what you're doing at the end of the day. And if an audience isn't going to really see it, especially if you're just posting on social media for a quick post and then refining it after, you can hide some stuff. Trust me, you can definitely hide some stuff. Okay, now this might bite me in the ass when I go to do print and I have to go back on my old ass Photoshop files that I might not even have saved, and just have to just go in and spend hours to fix little tiny things that I just brushed off. But I don't think it's been that bad, to be honest. Another thing you want to know for the backgrounds too is when you have like a big sign or something and it's in the background, all you have to do is really just make a mask of a part that doesn't have the text on it, and just make that size and make it stretch longer so that you don't have to really be in there like for hours upon hours of trying to get every single letter out. Like just stretch the selection. And I know it's gonna decrease your pixel rate / quality, but it's in the background. Like, let's not take 50 hours to do that. That's my thing. For the text in the background, I was like, all right, let me pay homage to a local thing around me. It's called City of Guards, held at the Basketball Hall of Fame every year, and I do work with them and things like of that nature. So I decided to go ahead and just put who you got, because it's City of Guards, and you know, City of Guards really put me on when I first started my art career. So a big shout out to them, and a big shout out to my guy Yusuf, because he really put me on when I first started, and I was trash at art, but he still gave me an opportunity to do my thing. And yeah, it's just led to a lot of avenues. So it was a cool question, and also I always try to put a little bit of hidden meaning, hidden potential in my work, and I just think it is just a beautiful part of my work when I do that, because I can go back on it later and just remember like, oh yeah, this is why I put that there, or oh, remember when I put blah 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 in the scene. You know, I don't think a lot of people are doing that. So if you want to take some creative liberties and start doing things like that, go ahead, because I see too many designs and too many editors that kind of just do the same thing, and it's just like, let's just be diverse out here, you know. So that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for most of what's gonna be going on in this video, and I appreciate you guys showing me all the love and support. Yeah, man, let's just keep it going, and thank you guys so much. Let me know what other videos you want to see from me, and if you like this type of style of video, let me know down below. Until next time, man, stay scoped. I'm out. Peace.